I'm not ashamed to admit it. Sometimes I enjoy staying in campgrounds. I didn't always, but over the years they've kind of grown on me. It's kind of a nice way to take a break from the road and just feel safe knowing that no one's gonna roll up next to me like firing off a gun or blasting music all night. Living on the road full time can get pretty tiring, especially now after almost 12 years. So it's pretty nice just to have like water, garbage, toilets like on hand right over there, from time to time. But I must say that campgrounds are a lot nicer to stay in between September and May when they're way quieter. And I really only prefer to stay at campgrounds where I have a good amount of personal space. We're not crammed in like sardines, and especially if there's lots of trees nearby. As I record this, it's early September already, and we're in a campground, just laying low for a few days, relaxing, and I'm spending some time to focus on work. It's been quite a while since I've shared much of our lives with you, and a lot has happened. A lot has happened. In our last video, I shared a huge paddleboard adventure we went on where we paddle sailed 130 kilometers from Nikusp almost all the way to Castlegar, down a section of the Columbia River known as Arrow Lakes. But aside from that adventure, I haven't shared any of my life with you since leaving the Chilcotin Plateau, which was in late June. So what have we been up to all summer? Well, that's what this video is about. I'm going to be revealing what we've been up to behind the scenes, what's going on with my channel, and what you can expect from us in the future. I'm also going to be sharing a pretty heartbreaking but important update about Frank. I'm going to answer a few of your questions you left on a recent community post, and I have a little gift from me to you, something that I have been working on for quite a while to get it good enough to share. So hopefully you will enjoy that. I guarantee some of these things you did not see coming. So grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's get on with it. Hi. Look at this cute boy. Did I wake you up? I'm sorry. He spends most of his time sleeping. If you can't appreciate a sleeping dog, you shouldn't get a dog, because if you're lucky, they get old and they sleep all the time. He'll be back asleep within moments. Yeah, Frank's getting old. And after we enjoyed our time this summer on the island and then in Bella Coola, we drove through the Chilcotin Plateau and went back home to Squamish for a few days just to kind of like gather ourselves and reset. And it was during our time there that I kind of started to get the feeling that this was probably going to be Frank's last summer. So that was hard. That was really hard, especially because while we were there, I was, getting ready to take him somewhere for his birthday, and there was a lot of tears. There was a lot of tears as I, got us ready for the road and bought him all his birthday treats, feeling like it's likely going to be his last birthday. And that was kind of the start of what's been a pretty emotional summer. So I got through it. Thankfully, it's summer, so I can wear sunglasses, and yeah, nobody treated me weird for crying in public. But we left Squamish and we headed up to the Caribou region, which we've passed through a bunch, but we haven't really spent much time in there. And I had made a campground reservation at a provincial park where we could have a site right on the lake, where the beach wasn't closed to dogs. And so we stayed there for a few days to celebrate Frank's 13th birthday, and initially I thought I would make a video about Frank and our life together and you know, celebrate him turning 13. But when the time came, I just wanted the time for us. I didn't want to film a big video, and I didn't want to focus on that. So we just hung out there. You know, for his birthday, I made him a nice breakfast with eggs and doggy waffle treats, and of course he gets lots of treats all the time. And that brings me to one of the questions I got asked on the community post by Danita Reynolds, which is, what's Frank's favorite thing to eat? Frank has a really good appetite. He loves food. He won't overeat though, which is something I've always really appreciated about him. He loves pretty much any dog treat. I have noticed this summer though, he doesn't really like things that are really hard anymore. So I used to get him the hardest treats possible, like that give him the most chewing potential, and I've just noticed that he's not as into those. But one of his favorite treats that he gets the most excited for is just greenies. I buy the boxes of them at Costco, so they're like the Kirkland white labeled version of greenies. It's way more affordable. They're like 50 cents each, and he just absolutely loves those. And he also likes pancakes and french fries. But basically anything he can eat that I share with him, he's more than happy to have. And he also really loves peanut butter and carrots. And this summer he was like really into cucumber. He also is happy to eat my watermelon rinds. Yeah, he eats a lot of vegetables. Broccoli stalks are one of his favorite. You know, they're like juicy, crunchy, greeny stick. So yeah, he's not a picky dog, but if I give him a bunch of options, he definitely has preferences. So he's been being treated very well this summer. But we had a good time for his birthday at the lake, and you know, it was somewhere really beautiful to kind of go paddling and just relax together. Wow. Oh my goodness, there's so many fish here. This is incredible. Wow. That was amazing. That was hundreds of fish. Wow. Hello. Oh no, don't bark at them, Frank. They're nice. Frank, it's okay. Don't be jealous, Frank. Don't be jealous. Oh, now they're gonna go. And so Danita Reynolds also asked what our plans are for winter. This is a pretty big video. I have a lot of updates to share in it. So I will share my winter plans in the future. after I've shared all the videos that I've already filmed from this summer. But yeah, I can say that we're definitely staying in Canada. I put in a lot of work this summer, both logistically and physically, to make sure that Frank had a really, really great summer. And now that things are starting to cool off, I'm really looking forward to putting more energy into things I love that he can't join me with, like hiking, which I have kind of missed throughout the summer. But no matter what the season is, I find I'm always pushing myself and sweating a lot, which is why it's so great to have a excellent go-to electrolyte. And I'm a huge fan of today's sponsor, who is Drink Element. Right now I'm enjoying this black cherry lime sparkling element, which is a flavor you can only get in the sparkling beverage. But one of my favorite flavors that's available as both a sparkling and a drink mix is the watermelon salt. I've tried a lot of electrolytes over the years, and Drink Element is by far the tastiest and also feels the most effective. And that could be because Element has a science-backed blend of electrolytes and none of the other BS you don't need in an electrolyte drink mix. There's no artificial colors or artificial flavors or sugar or caffeine or soy or gluten or any sort of fillers like that. And the reason it's so important for me to have a really good go-to electrolyte is that whenever you do anything that causes you to sweat, that sweat is full of electrolytes. And electrolytes play a vital role in so many different functions within the body. And I notice that I just feel a lot better. I get less headaches, less cramping, I sleep better. All of that when I replenish the electrolytes I lose. If you'd like to give Element a try, if you go to drinklmnt.com/TIDELINTOALPINE and you make any purchase, whether it is the drink mix or the sparkling beverage, you're going to get a free sample pack included with purchase. And that sample pack has 2 each of their 4 fan favorite flavors. So you can give them a try or share them with a friend. And that sample pack is a great bonus, whether it's your first time shopping from Element or you're a repeat customer like myself. Every time you use that link, you're going to get the sample pack with purchase. There is no limit to that, which is something I really love about Element. So with that said, thanks again to Element for sponsoring this video. So after Frank's birthday celebration in the Caribou, we headed over to the Kootenays, where we have been for the rest of summer. I spent about a week hanging out with my parents. We've been working on repairing our relationship for a little over a year now or so, maybe longer. Then we set off to do our big paddle trip. And I'm really grateful to my mom for driving us up to Nakusp and then picking us up when we were done, and just, you know, receiving daily updates every day so that somebody was keeping an eye on us. You know, and if she didn't get a message that we had arrived in camp, then she could send a search party, because it was a pretty ambitious trip. And the lakes in this area, because there's big mountains and they're really long, with the wind, it can create a lot of swell. So yeah, if you haven't watched that video, I'll link it up here. It is a long video. It is our longest we've ever made. But it's like a movie, and it was a really, really fun adventure. We had all sorts of different kinds of weather, and Frank just had such a nice time, and it feels really good. You know, that at his age, at 13, with him barely able to walk, I'm still able to find adventures that are suitable for him, but that I get to do something that is challenging and bigger than I've ever done before. So yeah, if you've already watched that video, thank you very much. Now, some of you might recall that about a year ago, Frank and I went to a small town called Clearwater, which is at like the entrance to Wellsgrave Provincial Park. And we were going there to go on a huge paddle trip, which was really, really beautiful. And on a whim, I decided to go tandem paragliding, which was terrifying. I talked to the guy in the afternoon, Willie, who was amazing. And the next morning, I was running off a mountain strapped to him. I will also link that video up here. That was a really good time, and honestly, a really life-changing moment for me, because flying is something I've always felt called to and always been like kind of scared to do. And so it just felt really good to, you know, take the leap and go give it a try, tandem. And I remember telling my mom about it, and she was like, "Are you nuts? Like you, what are you doing? Like jumping off a mountain with a stranger?" And I explained to her, first of all, you don't jump off mountains. The parachute is already out, and you run, and it comes up, and you run off the mountain. It lifts you up, and yes, he's a stranger, but he's very experienced, and he also wants to live, and like it's way safer than driving and a lot of other extreme sports. It's like 15 times safer than driving. And she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I want to try it." So, after Frank and I did our big Nakusp to Castlegar paddle trip, my mom and I and Frank headed up to Revelstoke for a mother-daughter weekend where we went tandem paragliding. Hey, we are on our way to go paragliding at the tallest vertical drop of commercial paragliding in North America. How do you feel?
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, we've been planning this for a while. I'm very excited and very happy that today is not raining, because yesterday was raining and we weren't sure if we were going to actually get this to happen today. So yeah, we'll be on the gondola soon. Before we know it, we'll be running off a mountain. Woo! We're on the gondola! We're headed to the very top of the mountain.
What do you think, Amanda? Should we give this a go?
I think we should.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, start pulling me down the hill. We'll pull back here. Now we're gonna run. Awesome! We're airborne!
Woo!
If you scrunch your knees up to your chest, your bum should slide into the pocket.
Cozy.
Beauty. Nicely done.
Yeah. Ain't my first rodeo.
That's right, so now we're gonna avoid flying into the rain. Everything is fantastico.
Yeah. And there's my mom down there. That pink chute is my mom. Woo!
And so we're getting a little bit of lift here, and I'm just going to try and do some circles in it.
Yeah.
And if you're, sometimes the thermaling makes people a little queasy. If you start feeling at all motion sick.
I'm good.
That's awesome. Some people you can't make them sick no matter what you do.
I paddle, so I'm used to.
Oh yeah.
I'm used
kind
to.
Of strange feelings.
Oh yeah. This is cool because you can see the other shoots of the other two.
Yeah, that is the beauty of this site, is we get to kind of fly with our buddies.
I think this is actually not as scary as the first time I rode a motorcycle.
Woohoo! Yeah, I hope to get into this on my own and learn. Woohoo! Oh, look at that way up there!
Oh, yeah. Or it floats, yeah, exactly. Whoop. Good thing that thing's on a string. I just dropped my GoPro.
Oh. Revelstoke, paragliding. Can we land like at the resort? Oh, that's my mom down there going to land.
Get to watch. Okay, we'll just take it on our bums.
Woo! All right, we're down. Oh, you're down.
I'm fully down. Just letting pass you down softly here. There, hey, now you're down too.
Put my arms in front. Okay, different landing style than last time.
We're pretty chill out here. We don't like to work too hard. It was a really fun trip, but unfortunately, during that trip, I noticed a new lump on Frank, and he had just had a mast cell tumor removed about 2 months prior, and so it was kind of devastating to feel what I thought was going to be another one. So after we got back from Revelstoke, Frank and I had a pretty hard week with the vet where that mass was biopsied and it came back as a mast cell tumor, but unfortunately it's not operable. So the previous ones, the one he had removed in May and the one he had off his head and off his belly about 4 years ago, were really well defined, and they were, you know, pretty easy surgeries, and they got the whole thing, and they got clear margins, and they were tested, and they were low grade tumors. And you know, after those first ones were removed, it was like 3.5 years before he got another one. But unfortunately, this one is not well defined, and to try to remove it would be really, really invasive. And at his age and some other kind of health issues, other forms of treatment would not really go over well and would really destroy his quality of life. So yeah, he's just living with it, and he has mostly good days, but sometimes he has a harder day where he's a little extra tired. It grows a little bit some days it's a little smaller. It's not changing too drastically, but it is here on the back of his tricep. So it's an area where it's pretty close to the lymphatic system. It's relatively high risk for spreading. But he's 13, so that's what we're dealing with. So it's been a hard summer for me. So yeah, I've been sitting on this for about a month and a half. I thought I'd be able to tell you without getting emotional, but yeah, it's been hard. But you know, I've known as long as I've had him that his time will come to an end. He's not immortal. And because of that, I have savored every last moment with him. I've refused to take jobs that would mean I had to leave him behind. I chose this life on the road to reduce my cost of living so I could spend all my time with him, going on adventures and making memories. And you know, when I saw he started to get old, about 4.5 years ago, I started this channel, hoping that I would find enough success to give him the best care possible and the best senior years possible. And by that measure, I've been incredibly successful because I've been able to give him every surgery he's needed and all the treats and his chariot and the backpack and just everything I can to give him a really good life and to keep adventuring together, like with the paddleboard and all of that. So, you know, it's been amazing, and I'm just so grateful for you being a part of that and choosing to watch these stories I share so that I could live life with Frank on my terms. And so I don't know how long he has left, but he's 13, and he's happy and he's comfortable, and he's living a good life. He's having a good time, and he loves to go for drives and just sniff out the side window, and he's got a strong appetite, and he drinks all his water, and he has his regular bathroom stuff. And you know, I carry him around, and yeah, he's happy. And you know, I honestly think it's probably harder on me right now than it is on him. The grief comes in waves. You know, most days that we're living our lives and having a good time, it's not so bad. But anytime something could be our last time doing that, I get pretty emotional and start crying. And I've just found I've been pretty tired a lot of the time. Yeah, the grief is heavy to carry. And so yeah, we've been going on our big adventures, and then just enjoying downtime where I've been
working on videos and making updates for patrons, and just really savoring my time with Frank and trying to look after myself. So yeah, this summer I've been just taking a lot of slow time. It's, you know, one of the reasons why I've been producing less videos. Each video I'm spending more time creating it, which means I can't make as many, but also I'm just doing what I can, and I've just needed time to live my life a bit more privately and to process things a little longer before I share them. So I've been, you know, spending a lot of time learning Spanish, which has been fun, and I've also been, you know, reading more and spending more time listening to audiobooks and just being with Frank while he sleeps. So that brings me to a question from Rach Adventures Sin Live. What is the latest book you have read? I've enjoyed every other book you have mentioned before. I'm so grateful to you. You have helped me love reading again. That means a lot to hear. Thank you, Rachel. I really enjoy reading, and I read in fits and spurts. And so the only book with paper that I've been reading this year is still this one, The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. I am almost done it. I read a section and I spend a lot of time processing it. And it's been really, really good. So the subtitle is Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery. So if there's somewhere you want to be in life, or a way you want to live, or you just notice yourself getting in your own way, this book is really, really helpful to overcome those internal hurdles that we place, that, you know, get in the way of us where we are now and where we want to be. And yeah, I just really recommend that book. And so it was during one of my slow times, I was working on this book and just thinking about my life and my future and what I want to do after Frank, where I came to the conclusion that life is just way too short to put off things you're called to do for later, for another day, for next year, for the year after. You know, at some point you have to stop making excuses and just do the things. You just have to do it. You just got to do what's going to make you happy and bring you joy in life. And I decided that since Frank spends so much time sleeping, that I would start now pursuing something that does bring me a lot of joy and that I want to be a part of my future after Frank. And so I started flight school to learn paragliding so I can fly. It was really cliche, but there's no better time than now to start, and it's been really great to have something I can hold on to that is a reminder that as hard as it will be to lose Frank, life will still be good after. And so on the theme of life in the future after Frank, I have a question from Oreo1980, which is, would you ever consider being a tour guide for a weekend for someone who has never experienced van life? Kisses to Frank. Thank you, Oreo. I don't think I would ever be a tour guide for van life, but I do like being a hiking guide. I've helped many people on a volunteer basis to build confidence hiking or to get into backpacking and camping. It's been really, really rewarding to take people out and teach them stuff and answer all their questions. And something I've always kind of dreamed of doing was becoming an ACMG mountain guide, like a hiking guide. And I've started to think about that again. And it's something I could see myself doing in the future, is getting my hiking guiding certification and then being able to be licensed and covered by insurance and all of that at the highest level in Canada to take people out into the mountains on trips and get to share that experience with them, and it's something that I believe can be really life-changing. I'm somebody who just winged it and taught myself everything, but that route's not for everyone. And yeah, I think it's really great actually to learn with a mentor and to have someone to ask questions to and to point out things you don't even know to consider. And so, yeah, I think that could very likely be in my future. But for now, I'm just focusing on one big thing at a time, and that is paragliding. And so after my first week of really intensive training, I was finally able to take my first solo flight off the mountain, which I will share with you now. All right, we are here at the launch for my first day. I'm going to be flying that wing, just getting her ready. That's where we're going.
Amanda's first flight. Amanda's first flight.
Looking really good, Amanda. Take a look at the windsocks. Where are you planning to land? We're going to go down the primary taxiway. Keep going straight because we're still high. Okay, let's remove the minimum sink. Go straight. Okay, and start that turn in on final. That's it. Keep turning. Come towards me. Good. Landing gear ready. Thrust your hips forward. Just a tiny bit of a correction. Come down the runway. Good. And we're waiting for that round out. Yeah, round out. And flaring all the way. And she nails it on her feet. Yeah, good. Yay, Amanda!
Thank you.
Well done.
I have watched that footage from my first flight so many times, and every time it just makes me so happy. I'm really glad that I have it on video, especially the landing. It was really awesome to land my first mountain flight on my feet. And yeah, it feels so good to fly. So this is something I will definitely be talking more about in the future. Once I have my P2, which is my license that will allow me to fly solo without the guidance of instructors, I will make a video about the entire process, start to finish, of learning to fly, from when I made the first call to the flight school until I take my first flight fully licensed. So if you have questions about that, drop them below, because it's going to be a little while till I put that video together. I am still in the process of getting my certification, because after I did my first couple mountain flights and I got my P1, which I'll explain all of it later, I actually took a break from flight school to just make the most of what was left of the hot days of summer with Frank, and we headed out on another big paddle adventure. So this time we upgraded our umbrella to an actual sail, which was so much fun. And we kind of had the time of our lives, taking on bigger whitewater than I was expecting. Warning, this next teaser clip has some strong language. Holy shit! Holy fuck. Holy. Whoa. I'll be sharing that full adventure in our next video. I have a lot of footage to go through. I'm very excited about that. It was a great time. Me and Frank had so much fun. But yeah, it's a process. It takes time to, make these bigger videos. And I've just chosen to share these videos or these adventures all as one video and not break it up into like a series. And with all the footage I have, I would definitely make a lot more money just making the adventures as a series. But I'm just not trying to churn out as much content as possible. I'm really enjoying being online less, savoring my time with Frank, having these big adventures, really focusing on what I'm doing in my life, and then really spending a lot of time on one video and creating them in such a way that they're really great memories for my future. So for the foreseeable future, I will be posting 2, maybe 3 videos a month. Maybe October onward, I would like to be posting 3, but this month I'm realistically only going to get out another video after this because I will be focusing on flying. And so yeah, in a way, I wish I was motivated to produce a lot of content on YouTube, because there's things I would like to do in my life that cost money, like buy land someday. But there's also things I really want to do in my life that take time, like write a book, which is something I get asked about all the time. And, a big reason why I began living in a van in the first place was to have sovereignty over my own time, to have free time above anything else, to have time to look after myself physically, mentally, spiritual, to have time to build a good relationship and have a really memorable life together, to have time to just do what I feel called to do. And I'm not going to starve if I produce less videos. And so, since my health scare this winter, it's just been a lot more appealing to take time for myself to enjoy my life. And yeah, that's just where I'm at with that. I have been keeping up with Patreon. I post a lot there, and I've been posting, some of the sneak peeks and bonus content also on the YouTube members platform, because I just, have been having a hard time scheduling live streams. So that's what's going on with that. If you would like more content from me, the best way to do that is to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Threads, have notifications on so you see when I post here on YouTube. Watch the videos I put out in their entirety, or YouTube will stop showing them to you. And if you want even more than that, then you can become a patron and support me on this path. So yeah, any of those or none of them are just great. Whatever works for you, honestly. I almost forgot. I have something to share with you. A little gift, a token of my appreciation. I am finally ready to share my personal playlist with you. It is called The Endless Road. I have been building it for many, many months. It's not in a curated order because I listened to it on shuffle. It's nearly 3 hours long, and I will likely continue to add songs to it for months to come, but it's at a point now where I am ready to share. It really exemplifies my music taste. I'm sure you will find things you've never heard before, so I will link that down below. It's on Spotify. If you don't have a Spotify account, I'm sure there's some way you can just see what those songs are and make it a playlist in the platform that you use. But yeah, I'm excited to share, so hopefully some of you will really enjoy that. And so I have one last question. I thought you had a boyfriend. What happened? I do not have a boyfriend. I have not had a boyfriend in a long time. I was exploring the potential beyond friends with somebody I had been friends with for a long time. That exploration has come to an end, and I don't think we're friends. So that's that. I'm really not too interested in taking on a boyfriend. They're a lot of work, and I'm really enjoying a lot of things in my life. I'm having a good time just on my own with Frank and doing things that bring me joy, like flying and focusing on editing and just living a very calm, peaceful life. So yeah, as I record this, it is early September. We're still having beautiful weather. We have some great adventures planned between now and the end of October, when we will completely switch gears. So I'm really excited about the adventures I've had that I will share with you soon. I am excited about the adventures I will have that I will also share with you. And when it feels right for me, I will make more videos than I have been. But for now, thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through this one, you know, I really appreciate you. It's just wonderful that you're here, choosing to spend your time sharing it with me and being part of our lives and making all of this possible. You know, it's a lot of work for me, and it's been really worth it because you've shown up and, you know, been invested in us. So yeah, huge thank you to patrons and to channel members. And I got a cute clip of Frank to send you off on your way if you would like to watch more videos. I have posted up in one corner our excellent paddle trip from Clearwater last year, and in the other corner I have posted the one where I did my first paragliding, as that is something you're definitely going to see more of in the future of this channel. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.